it publishes 4.5 million quality papers. First largest economy, America, publishes 4.4 million. So the difference between China and America is not so big. And of course, our colonial master UK publishes 1.4, little more than us. 1.4 million papers that they publish in UK. So these are and India ranked number 4, as I mentioned. In terms of citations, we rank number 9 in the whole world. Now coming back to your questions, colleagues, that in terms of the research, actually, India is lagging behind, in my opinion. We have a lot of students, they don't know how to select a topic. They don't know what is scientific journal, what is scholarly journal, what is a probably predatory journal or fake journal. They don't know anything about it. The supervisor tells something, okay, you publish this and pay this much money. They're ready to pay the money, they don't look at the quality at all. There are so many journals that are associated by Indian publishing companies. They are delisted, they are blacklisted on a regular basis. Plagiarism is, of course, we are standing number 1 in the world. If I tell this fact, I know our colleagues may not be happy, but that is the fact. So we don't care about the quality, but we want to publish the article in quality journal. It doesn't work like that, colleagues. So you need to show the relevance, rigor, and resilience. If you don't have these 3 R's or R cube, you cannot publish. With regard to your question, PhD student, that you always remember this 3R. So that 3R is absolutely important for us. One more point I would like to mention, Professor Singhji's comment, that as I indicated in my opening remarks, that colleagues, we have 8.1 billion people living on this planet. The number of researchers that are there in this planet, surprisingly, only 8 million people. So how many of Indian researchers they are part of that 8 million, we need to question ourselves. India produced 2022-2023, 26,000 PhDs have been produced just this academic year. From this 26,000 PhDs, how many PhD holders they could able to publish in quality journals? We need to question ourselves. So in terms of researchers, for instance, for every 1 million population of India, we only got less than 220 researchers in our country. In South Africa, where I come from, we got 550 researchers. Of course, South African population is 26 times lesser than the population of India. We only got 60 million people in that country. Now, if you look at a country like South Korea, they got 7,100 researchers actually. You take America, for example, largest economy, they got 4,300 researchers. Now, if we have the situation like this, we are not able to produce, like you said, quantity and quality, or probably demand and supply. We are unable to produce the quality researchers from our country. We have IITs and IIMs, which are 2 eyes of our country, India. The IITs, IIMs, if themselves, they are unable to produce quality research. So when we are sitting with this, and state-owned universities, private universities, deemed universities, forget about them. The IITs and IIMs, government of India is expecting a lot, and the people of India also expecting a lot from these 2 categories of institution. That is the biggest challenge. So first of all, we need to, even this part of NEP that we are talking about, we need to change radical changes. We think that if the editor said, "Aap editor hai, so mera paper publish karo." That's what the person. It doesn't work like that. Even you are my brother or you are my sister, whoever you are, we cannot publish the paper. I also wanted to give one practical example. Maybe 3 months ago, I'd like to tell you, colleagues, that there is a paper that I received from India, and I, as an associate editor, has to process as part of the bottom line journal. Then I reviewed it. The paper itself is 14 pages. It looks okay. I thought at one stage I wanted to accept that paper, but at the end I have to write 17-page report why I am rejecting that paper actually, on what grounds, what are the grounds. So my report is 3 pages more than the actual paper itself. So that much rigor that we see. That's why the bottom line published by Emerald UK is ranked among the top 2 journals in the world. So this is what we need to learn, colleagues. Nothing is impossible. I'm a farmer child. I'm an agricultural farmer myself. And I could reach to this level as a professor and editor-in-chief. Everything is possible. So you have better facilities than what I had 35 years ago. So everything you can learn, you can practice. But make sure that if you want quality, garbage in, garbage out. If you want to produce the quality paper from the day one, try to produce something good. Try to use all the instruments that you use, the methods, the techniques, the literature that you review, everything must be perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. We are out of time, but any of our panelists want to comment before we are thrown out of here?
Okay. Personally, I feel that seeds are not bad, but we will have to improve the quality of the soil. Not fertilizers. I am very critical about the poor quality policy makers. UGC, University Grants Commission in India, some years ago decides that we will have some list of the journals. The whole race starts in India, getting your journal included in that list. After some years, UGC says that list is now too much comprehensive. Let us go to UGC Care. And that is a Web of Science corpus, and this is a list of journal. Again, race starts. Now the UGC says you can publish in any journal. 18 peer-reviewed journals. Just peer-reviewed. After so many years, now you are thinking that you can start publishing in peer-reviewed. So the quality of the persons who are to create environment in the country. See, who is a researcher? Researcher is a person with a clean mind, with enthusiasm, wish to do something. But when you ask him to publish in a category paper or in a peer-reviewed paper, he will be definitely opting for peer-reviewed paper because it takes lesser time to publish and it is available in the next door. There are so many peer-reviewed papers. So we are in the business of publishing paper. We are not in the profession of publication. We editors ourselves are not getting updated. We have poor quality reviewers and poor quality editors also. Many editors or many reviewers, I know very well, when we experience those things, the independent t-test, they can apply on nominal data. They don't know what is the residuals or errors, because when you say testing of a hypothesis, this means you are finding something on the basis of that. Your data is supporting or not supporting, but whether you are compromising with the methodology or not, that is an issue. So I think government cannot do. It is now the passion on your part. These are the guidelines. This is the environment. What we can do? Either we can expect something from the government, or you can opt for your passion. Okay, yes, I wish to do something, because still there are very good researchers in India. They are publishing A or A stars, and they are producing wonderful results. So.
Professor Maheshwari.
Thank you. I'll just take a minute. I think we have not addressed Keval's question yet. As to what is contributed by these conferences, the idea behind presentation of a research paper generally should be that you get a feedback from like-minded people. However, in settings where you've got 50 papers in a session and you've got 5 minutes to present, and there is no questioning of that research, there is no feedback provided on research, that is kind of sometimes becomes discouraging for the researchers. But to answer your question, that is the idea. And what happened is, generally, the good schools in the US would allow or would fund you to go to various conferences and try to get in good places to get that feedback from people who are probably higher than whatever level you are at, and improve that. And again, the objective is to publish it in the quality journal, and which we discussed earlier.
Thank you very much, Professor Gupta. Closing remarks. Oh, there's more questions.
Thank you.
One
I would agree with
conclusion and contribution messages.
Acha, then okay, we'll go to closing remarks to Professor Gupta, and then we will come for
Any conclusion or no difference.
Okay.
For me or
all right to Professor Gurcharan. We'll take the mic to Professor Gurcharan. Professor Gupta.
Yeah, there were a couple of questions. One was already answered by Professor Maheshwari in terms of what is the contribution of the conferences. So conferences is sort of theoretically a very good venue for getting some feedback and improve the quality of the paper. Another one was talking about how to improve the scientific writing. My view on that is scientific writing would improve from your reading. More you read, better writer you will become. And the problem with us is that we want to read very, very short and quick and do our literature review and move on to writing the paper rather than reading a novel. And sometimes I say, read novels, and I give a list of books to read and add another list of books for them to read at their pleasure. So more reading will improve the writing. And one of the most important aspects which Professor Rena and Professor Singh touched upon was the quality and policy making. And I would go back to one of my colleagues who made a comment once that in academia, you have to internalize your own motivation of doing things. You will never get any external motivators in terms of either the policy motivations from incentive or bonuses, or from your departmental motivations. So we, as the researchers or academics, need to find our own internal motivation of doing things rather than relying on the external motivators. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I believe we are giving the last word to Professor Gurcharan.
I'll comment only Mr. Singh's gentleman comment, because once upon a time I went to I am Bangalore. There was one conference on spirituality and management, and they intend to start some course on it, but there was no literature available. Somehow they organized that conference, and there were a lot of papers which were available on different kind of religions with regard to management. One of the paper which we submitted in that conference was management and Sikhism, some kind of paper. Number of papers were from Muslim, what you call culture and management, then Hindu culture and management, and then Jainism, Buddhism and all that. That gathering of literature ultimately made their literature for the studying of that subject. And they started that subject. Now that is what you call a benefit for holding these kind of conferences. Thank you very much.
We have thereby concluded that conferences are very useful, which is important since we are having a conference. One more last word? Okay. Okay, then after this we will break for tea. One more last word.
I want one suggestion that research should be open from schooling, undergraduation and post-graduation. They should be like in a degree system. We are not in position to establish research university. Though it was in the All India Vice Chancellor Conference suggested in Jalandhar, but that have not been still established. We can demand departmentalization like research and development, like in MA, like literature, language, humanities, so that 10+2 students become their mindset to I will go the researcher as assistant professor, researcher and development, associate professor, researcher, professor, and after that during this then he can be awarded for PhD. This can be exercised. This is my opinion. It's my thinking that this can be little helpful for the quality of implementing the research. Thank you very much for giving me.
We should take the rest of this conversation to tea. I have some questions. Oh goodness. And it's 3:15.
Yes, so my question is that a lot of people do empirical research, right? And then it's available for reference on global platforms, but it's mostly paid. So do you, and some people do try to get it through other sites as well. So do you think it should be paid? Because after all, it's all knowledge, right? And do you think knowledge should be paid?
That's true.
Well, I don't know if I could give my perspective on that. Everything is becoming commercialized, and it is so happening that, according to Karl Marx, that profits are legalized robbery. And there are some companies, there's one company that is based in Switzerland, is making more than $300 million just by publishing journals. So they are charging immense amount of publication fees, probably between $500 to $3,000. So that is, even many of our professors working in Indian scenario, they will not get $2,000, $2,500 as their monthly salary. How do you expect somebody who gets less than $2,000 or even $600, $700 they get per month, and how do you expect such people they pay that kind of money? So it's unreasonable. And all these publishing companies like Elsevier or Sage and whichever company that we talk about, they will begin to charge the money. I can remember that 3 times when I published my article somewhere when I was a beginner in 2004-5, they paid me some money when I published the article with them. In fact, they pay me equal to $100, $150 somewhere. 3 times I received the money. But I made a point that I don't want to publish my article in paid journals. So that is the situation. But when you say that, well, it is difficult to answer, give a concrete answer that whether we pay and publish, which I don't disagree. But nowadays, that's the trend that is going on. As long as the journal maintains the quality, even if you pay nominal fees and publish, that would be acceptable because knowledge is also an expensive kind of system. Yeah, thank you.
To some extent, I really don't condone like if journal is charging, because if the journal is charging but is helping the researcher in different ways, then they have to have a staff to be able to take the paper forward. And means I don't know what is wrong with the money part. We all need it. Means we are here. Means if I'm teaching at school, tomorrow you will say, "Oh, this is such a job where why would you charge money?" Same thing you can say for the doctors. Why do they charge money? Means don't think that money is bad. Money is one of the vehicle that is moving all these things. And if my process can be facilitated, what am I paying money for? Generally for my own convenience, or whenever you go to a good restaurant or whatever, means you pay money for the convenience. So don't equate paying the money to something bad always. Because there's a cost involved. Like if we are having this conference, I was talking to Dr. Ajay Singh yesterday. This conference, including the one we had yesterday, has a bill of about 2 crores. How do you expect that? I mean, some companies are coming forward, they are paying the money. We will not even have this interaction without someone coming and paying the money. If they think that, oh, they are all educators and they should be just giving their time away. Means I'm coming from US. My airplane didn't say, oh, here's a free ticket for you. So don't equate that, please. Let's say
I have a perspective too, because when he is asking a question, he has a background also for that. affordability is a point.
Yes, sir.
Because if you have access to good resources, definitely it will lead to a better paper also. And there are two ways. If we are thinking that maybe it can happen in the days to come. Why we should have subscription of 20 colleges differently? Why cannot we have a common subscription of, say, state of Haryana? So why we have different libraries in all the universities? We can have a common library. When now e-resources are available, why these publishers should charge differently from OP Jindal, differently from Kurukshetra University for the online resources, right? So we will have to find solutions for this. And second thing, if you have an idea and the age of that idea has come, nothing can stop it. Your one suggestion which was given, I will also love to give you that suggestion, and I am implementing that suggestion. The India's history, the culture is very rich. Kindly go back to Gita. Kindly go back to the books which have been written many years ago, and those are freely available. Those are freely available. And you will get wonderful ideas for wonderful research, because as Sir mentioned, we need some point of view. Differently, if you are able to suggest some solution to the coming generations, it can help you a lot. Because good papers are not vast data. Good paper means an idea whose age is.
Ma'am, we have just one last
I will take it to the ICA. What is the ICA?
we can, I mean, last 2 minutes, we can do
last
it.
one
Just one small question.
Okay.
Good afternoon to all the respected panelists and all the audience. I'm Jyoti from Delhi University. All the panelists, respected panelists, we're talking about the research taking off in the past few years. So since in the past few years, promotions have been linked to research. So there has been a sudden increase in the research also. There has been a genuine effort also being made by many teachers, many faculty also. It's not that. They are also doing their efforts also. So because of the rate of growth of research, has there been a commensurate increase in the rate of growth of publications also? Because at times I feel that there are those many publications also, and that is why people are finding it harder to get published. So perhaps the rate of growth of publications has not kept pace with the demand of publications. I just had a curiosity. Any more?
I could not understand your perspective. The promotions are linked to definitely publications,
Yes.
but the clerical
Demand
person,
for
the
publications
clerk
has increased.
who will consider that paper for publication, he does not know A, B, C or D
So
journals.
that
That is different,
demand
right?
for the
So,
demand for publications has increased. But वो publications, वो journals इतने बड़े हैं क्या that they can handle those increased set of publications?
Definitely, if you have a good paper, ma'am, if you have a good paper, definitely you will find a journal. Because we think that our paper is the best one.
Can I?
Our journey has just one minute, sir. Our journey has been from chi-square fair, from factor analysis fair, from structure question modeling fair, from partial least scarce fair, and now one is a bibliometric analysis fair, bibliometric analysis fair, right? So means whether if your research is really genuine, you will find a journal. Answer, please.
Can I make a sort of a radical comment here? As an editor of a journal, I shouldn't say that, but publishing business is regression to the mean. So when the paper goes through this review process, what we are doing in the review process and the editorial review is bringing the things to some sort of a mean accepted level. So in most cases, when the paper is published, it's not a groundbreaking research. Second discussion is going on in terms of the monetary value from the readers or from the authors to be paying for the publication. Nowadays, the technology has advanced so much, you can actually self-publish. Nobody is stopping you from self-publishing your work, and if your work has value, it will be noticed. People will critique it, people will replicate it, people will find errors in your work. You can self-publish. Yes, it's not an A-star journal, it's not Journal of Finance or Review of Financial Studies, but you can self-publish. So this whole idea of the open market economy where the journals are charging for the publication, journals are charging for the reading, journals are setting up these editorial reviews, and all of that process is an open market. And you can challenge this open market and self-publish. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now close the panel.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much, sir. As we draw the curtains on this insightful journey into the editor's perspective on empirical research, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each of our esteemed panelists. Your expertise, diverse insights, and valuable contributions have illuminated the intricacies of the editorial process, enriching our understanding of empirical research. Dr. Ruchira Singh, Dr. Rakesh Gupta, Professor Balvinder Singh, Professor Sunil Maheshwari, Professor Ravinder Rena, your collective wisdom has been the guiding force behind today's discussion. The depth of your knowledge and the passion with which you shared your experience have undoubtedly left an indelible mark on our audience. To our attendees, thank you for your active participation and thoughtful engagement. Your questions and interactions have added depth to the conversation, turning this panel discussion into a true exchange of ideas and insights. In closing, let us carry forward the lessons that we have learned today. May the editor's perspective on empirical researches continue to inform and inspire our scholarly endeavors in future. Once again, a sincere thank you to our distinguished panelists and our attentive audience. Your collective commitment to the pursuit of knowledge has made this discussion a resounding success. Thank you so much. With this, we close this panel discussion.